Greetings and welcome to the Pampering Myself podcast. I'm your host, Pam Jones, aka Jonesy. Our mission is to empower women in every facet of life, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Join us as we explore self-care, personal growth, and holistic wellness, inspiring you to embrace your journey and nurture your inner strength. So grab your favorite snack or beverage, snuggle up in your favorite chair, and relax, because every woman deserves a little pampering. Join me in this special Mother's Day episode titled Celebrating Motherhood, the History of Mother's Day. Have you ever wondered how this special day came to be? From ancient festivals honoring goddesses to the tireless efforts of one daughter on a mission in the early 20th century. And as a special treat, in their own words, a few Mother's Day wishes to a few special mothers. Whether you're looking to deepen your appreciation or simply enjoy a captivating story, this episode is for you. Don't miss out on discovering the love and legacy behind Mother's Day. Today, we're diving into a topic that touches our hearts, Mother's Day. It's a day dedicated to honoring mothers and maternal figures. But have you ever wondered how this special day came to be? Let's start at the very beginning. The idea of honoring mothers dates back to thousands of years. In the ancient Greece, people held festivals in honor of Rhea, the mother of the gods. This early celebration was more about honoring goddesses than individual mothers, but they laid the foundation, the groundwork for what we now recognize as Mother's Day. Fast forward to the 17th century, and we see the first semblance of a Mother's Day in Europe. In England, there was a tradition known as Mothering Sunday. This was observed on the fourth Sunday of Lent, where people would return to their mother's church, the main church or cathedral in the area. It became a day for families to come together, and during this time, children who worked as servants would be given the day off to visit their mothers and families. Now, this tradition gained popularity over time, and it transformed into a day for honoring mothers. Families would gather, share a meal, give gifts to their mothers, and it was a beautiful way to express gratitude and love, similar to what we do today. Now let's jump ahead to the 20th century. In the United States, the push for an official Mother's Day began with a woman named Anna Jarvis. After her mother, Anna Rees Jarvis, passed away in 1905, Anna wanted to honor her mother's legacy and the sacrifices all mothers made. She believed that mothers should be recognized for their hard work and love. And in 1908, Anna held the first official celebration of Mother's Day at a church in Grafton, West Virginia. She organized the day to honor mothers and invited people to reflect on their sacrifices. This event was a success and garnered attention all across the country. Anna Jarvis then campaigned tirelessly to make Mother's Day an official holiday. She wrote letters to politicians, business leaders, newspapers, all advocating for its recognition. And finally, her efforts paid off in 1914 when President Woodrow Wilson signed a proclamation dedicating the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. Now, once Mother's Day became official, it quickly gained popularity. Businesses begin to capitalize on the holiday, promoting flowers, cards, and gifts to encourage people to celebrate their mothers. While this commercialization of the holidays pleased some, it disheartened Anna Jarvis. She had envisioned a day of personal reflection and gratitude, not one dominated by commercialism. In the years following the establishment of Mother's Day, various countries around the world began to adopt this similar celebration. Today, Mother's Day is celebrated in numerous countries, each with its own unique customs and traditions. And in the United States, it's a day filled with cards, flowers, and brunches. But beyond the festivities and the gifts, the essence of Mother's Day remained the same: a heartfelt acknowledgement of the love, sacrifices, and strengths that mothers provide. It's a day for reflection, gratitude, and connection, reminding us of the vital role mothers and mother figures play in our lives. As we celebrate this special day, let's take a moment to appreciate our mothers, grandmothers, and maternal figures. Whether it's through a simple phone call, a handwritten letter, a card, or a thoughtful gift, let's honor their love and dedication. To those navigating a turbulent relationship with their mother, know that your feelings are valid. Motherhood can be complicated, and it's okay to experience a range of emotions: love, pain, frustration, and longing. This Mother's Day, allow yourself the space to reflect on your relationship as it is, without judgment. It's important to understand that healing takes time, and it's okay to set boundaries or seek support as you navigate your feelings. If you can, consider focusing on the lessons learned from your experiences, whether they are about resilience, self-advocacy, or understanding your own needs. Remember, your journey is unique, and it's perfectly acceptable to honor your feelings while also cherishing the memories that bring you peace. This day can be an opportunity for self-care and reflection, allowing you to embrace your own path, whatever that might look like. To all who have lost mothers or mother figures, today we honor their memory and the profound impact they had on our lives. Though they may no longer be with us, their love and teachings continue to resonate in our hearts. Take a moment to reflect on the cherished memories and lessons learned and the unconditional love they share. They have shaped who we are today, and their spirit lives on in the stories we tell and the traditions we carry forward. Remember, it's okay to grieve, celebrate, and cherish their legacy today and always. Before we wrap up today's episode, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences and lessons you've learned from mothers in your life. How have they shaped you? What memories stand out the most? Sharing those moments, even if just in your heart, can deepen your appreciation for the incredible women who have influenced you. Thank you for joining me today on this journey through the history of Mother's Day. I hope you've gained a deeper understanding of its significance and inspiration for how you can celebrate the mothers in your life. Now for a special treat. A special thanks to all family and friends who were willing to share their thoughts on this Mother's Day podcast. I hope you enjoy.
My mother is the strongest woman I know. And when I was growing up, I didn't quite understand her strength. I didn't understand the tough exterior. I didn't understand the push to continue to keep going despite the difficulties. But as I grew older and became a parent myself, and I faced my own challenges, my own difficulties, it became much more clear why my mother was so tough. The experiences that she taught me on how to persevere, how to get back up when I'm knocked down, how to seek comfort in myself so that I can go back out into the world and experience and endure and thrive and survive beyond what the world was throwing in my direction, have taken me a long way. They've prepared me for what the world is now. They've prepared me to study more about what the world was, and they've prepared me to try to plan and create and be a part of an alternative future, one that recognizes all of our humanity. My mother took one direction in the way that she showed up in society as a law enforcement officer, and I took a different one. But at the core of both our decisions was community. She did what she thought was necessary at the time in her life to show up in society back in the 80s, a very difficult time for Detroit particularly and other urban communities. And as, you know, someone who grew up into adulthood in the 90s, I leaned into the direction that was best for me. But something that comes from our family and our genes and is replicated throughout is a care and compassion for what happens to people in society. And so I'm deeply grateful for the strength of my mother. And I'm grateful for everything that she has done to instill in me this attitude of not quitting, but of thinking deeply about how I want to show up in the world.
My mother has always been a teacher and an inspiration throughout my life. I can attribute my morals and values to the example she's displayed alongside the many transparent conversations we engaged in from childhood to adulthood. She's taught me honor, integrity, honesty, humility, patience, purpose, financial literacy. The list can go on and on. However, one of the most important lessons she's ever taught me in life was keep your head on the swivel in the most unorthodox manner. My mother was always known as the fun mom, the cool mom amongst all my cousins and friends. We were always going somewhere. Tap dancing, swimming, Girl Scouts, martial arts, basketball, the movies, bowling, amusement parks, museums. Once again, the list can go on and on. She sacrificed her every spare moment outside of full-time work and school to give me a childhood of no regrets or missed opportunities. Needless to say, we spent a lot of time commuting from location to location. And being the wife of a Marine and a Detroit police officer, she was aware of the dangers lurking in the streets. So we always moved with caution. Doors locked, seat belts on. The norm, nothing unusual. However, she was quick draw McGraw on them windows. No matter where we were going, she had them windows rolled up before that car was in park. Her logic was when the car stopped, we covered. In case anybody try to run up, we safe. And this rule was enforced, never wavered under any circumstances. My cousin can attest to that, as she was enjoying the ride, head out the window, soaking up the cool summer breeze, only to pull into the parking lot with the life being choked out of her as her neck is caught in the window. The rest of us was screaming for dear life to my mother, "Her head, her head, her head." She looked back, then advised us keep all body parts in the vehicle. Needless to say, any child who ever rode with my mother has gotten something caught in the window. For me, it was mostly my fingers. I believe she's caught all 10 of my fingers at some point in time. Moral of the story, always be aware of your surroundings, especially when you don't know where you're going. It was a little different when we knew what it looked like when we was pulling up. Everybody hurry up and make sure wasn't nothing hanging out that window. But when you don't know, you ain't never been there before, oh, you better pay attention. Ask those annoying questions you know parents love so much. Like, where we going? You will see when we get there. Are we there yet? We gonna get there when we get there. How long is it gonna take to get there? Just ride. You know what I'm talking about. He was mistaken for me being nosy and in grown folks' business, but really I was just scared and I wanted to know when the car was gonna stop so I didn't get hurt. However, keeping your head on the swivel can be applied in all aspects of life. And for that jewel she taught me, I am forever grateful. Even though I arrived at the point while watching my cousin almost be decapitated, when you learn things the hard way, you never forget them. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Mother's Day. When I think about Mother's Day, I paused for a second. I said, hold up, wait a minute. Every day is Mother's Day. And I look back and I think spiritually how awesome it is that God has anointed us to replenish the earth through childbearing. And each childbearing or childbirth is a miracle. And just think how much power we as women and mothers that we have, that we create the universe, that we're so value added in replenishing the earth with human beings. But one of the things, well, there's so many things that when you have childbirth, when you hear that first cry or scream, it's just that bond like a magnet connects to that child. And you say, my baby, this belongs to me for now. But as mothers, we are challenged, but our instincts kick in for nurturing, protecting, caring, and the commitment that we have to our children as they grow up, from babes to toddlers to adolescents, teenagers, and grown folks. That journey is not an easy journey. Actually, it's a roller coaster ride. And when a mother has 2 to 5 or more plus children, she has to create an environment for all the personalities. She has to deal with all the different personalities that her children bring. And each child's needs are different. So she has to adjust herself for each child's need or to be attentive to the needs, different needs of each child. And that is quite a challenge. In fact, it leads to a mother putting her personal needs aside while she unconditionally takes care of her child so that their life journey won't be so hectic. I guess that's what I want to say. But anybody who can hear me knows that raising a child is challenging, both mentally, emotionally, and financially. But I admire my mom. I love her. I respect her, and I hold her up high as she raised 5 children with different personalities. And one thing about my mom, you knew she was going to be there for us, and we knew that she put us first before her needs. She was somewhat of a single parent, but our household was filled with love, and she never said anything negative to any of her children about the other child. She created so much love, and she worked harder to have us love each other, support each other, and create an environment of a loving family. I try to carry that on to my family today. And I have 2 children, and then a girl and a boy. And one thing I will caution mothers, only spoil your child until they're 7 months old. After that, back off, teach them how to survive, teach them how to learn and enjoy learning, and not be a spoiled brat. My kids were spoiled, I did, and I look back and say, that's why I'm warning you, only spoil them till they're 7 months old. I knew my daughter was spoiled rotten, but then as they got older, I said, how can you have a grown man spoiled? My son. But being a mother, I honor that, and I'm happy that I was able to be a mother. And I wouldn't pass it up, and I would do it all over again. Maybe tweak it a little bit, but as we live, we learn. So again, I say every day is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all, and enjoy.
What makes my mom hilarious is that she's different moms and different people depending on the context. I remember shortly after I became a lawyer, I took a flight somewhere and I called her to tell her about my flight woes. And somewhere in that story, it became clear to her that I hadn't flown first class. So she stopped me and said, "Oh, you didn't fly first class? Oh, I only fly first class." And I was like, "Oh, excuse me." So color me shocked when my mom and I went to dinner shortly after, and we drove separately because I was leaving separately. She pulled her car up next to me and talked to me through her window. I got out of my car and spoke to her through her window while she was still in hers. She gave me the wait a second finger so she could roll up her window. Reached across the car and started hand cranking. So I said, what are you doing? And she stopped cranking and said, "I'm rolling up my window." It come to find out that because she doesn't need any frills in life and is, down to earth and basic, she doesn't need a car that has power up windows. So she got one because they, for some reason, still sell them. Got herself a car that she could hand crank with on her own manually, like it's 1983. But this, her ability to carry both of those things at the same time is also what makes her a great mom to me. She's always been my biggest cheerleader, has always made sure that if I needed support, that she was the person behind me to tell me that I can accomplish anything and I could do anything. She was also the person who would see me face an obstacle, see me go through something that, whether I could overcome it or not, seemed to just be unnecessary, and would be the person to tell me that I don't need this. I don't need to go through this. I don't need to deal with this. I deserve better and I could be better. And her ability to maneuver those moments perfectly and figure out when to be who she is and who to be in the right moments, I think has always made her the mom that I needed, and is a character trait, a quality of any great mom, because you never know what your kid needs, and knowing me, you never know what I need, but she was always there to provide it.
On this special day, I'd like to pay tribute to two mothers. First of all, my wife, who I met shortly after she had lost her mother, but she is already becoming a mother because she took over the role and was taking care of her entire family and her younger siblings. So she is one of the greatest people in the world. And besides that, she put up with me. Secondly, I'd like to take a moment to take care of my mom, who I miss very much. But one thing I will never forget, that she was a giving person, and the moment that she met Pam, my wife, she immediately took over as another mother figure for her and treated her like she was her own daughter, not just a daughter-in-law. But these are two great women in my life, and they've made my life one of the greatest things in the world. And I'd like to take this tribute to both of them and thank them very much.
Wishing my mother, Tita Victoria Petty, a wonderful and fantastic happy Mother's Day. What I want to say about my mom is that she's always been fearless. She's always been dedicated. She's always had tenacity. And those are the things that I think growing up with her that I now exemplify. She has always taught me to hold your head up, work hard, be productive in society, and just never give up, even when obstacles come your way. And so I believe that is why I am who I am today. Because I always think about, what would my mom do? And I've led with that my whole career. And I just want to say thank you, Mom. Thank you for always being an example of hard work. We may not always get it right, and we make mistakes along the way. But we've always done it because it was the right thing to do. And on this Mother's Day, with everything that you faced in the last year, I am so proud of who you are and everything you've overcome. And hopefully this message makes you smile.
My cousin Janine asked me to record this message, but these are her words regarding her mother, Clary Petty. One of the most important lessons my mother ever gave me came the day I left home, 30 years ago. She looked at me with that loving but serious face and said, "Nene, people out there are not going to treat you like your mother does. Please control your mouth." She knew me better than anyone, especially that I had a big mouth. I was quick to speak my mind, and she worried that it might get me into trouble out in the real world. It wasn't judgment, it was her way of trying to protect me, even when she couldn't be there. My mother was an incredible cook, one of those women who could make anything taste amazing. People would always rave about her food, and she always cooked plenty to share. I remember one day she was making hot water cornbread, one of my favorites. And she said, "Nene, let me teach you how to make this hot water cornbread." And I told her, "No, Mama, I don't want to learn, because if I do, I'll make it every week." That's how much I loved it. We both laughed, but now I'd give anything to be in that kitchen again, just to learn from her one more time. We shared so many beautiful memories, especially those long phone calls where we talked about everything and nothing for hours. And no matter what I was going through, if I was feeling low, her words always lifted me. She just had a way of making the world feel right again. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. You are forever in my heart. Your love, your wisdom, your voice, they are still with me every single day. Love, Nene.
I do not take it for granted that my mother chose me. She chose to birth me, to keep me, to value me, and to raise me with joy and intention. At a time in her life when motherhood was not planned, my mother not only chose me, but she stepped forward to lift me up and to be my greatest advocate. And from watching my mother navigate life, I learned to never be afraid to ask or demand what you want and need. I learned that presentation is half of the battle and that competency is the other half. I learned that embracing your God-given talents and walking on faith is the best thing that you could ever do for yourself. But probably more than anything, I learned the strength of a woman from watching my mother and the completeness of her. So happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you for everything that you do and have done and will continue to do to make a difference in my life and in the lives of everyone around you. Love you huge. Bye-o.
They say we spend our childhood trying to escape our parents, meaning we'll never turn into them, especially when it comes to discipline or whatever we feel should be handled differently. And yet, most times we do the exact same thing. I often catch myself laughing every time this happens. Like cleaning. My mother had this thing for keeping a clean house. Maybe I should call it more of an obsession. If she saw even a crumb on the table or something out of order, she had to handle it right on the spot. Can you imagine with 4 kids running around the house, how many crumbs or things that would be out of place? Don't get me wrong, we were allowed to be kids, but sometimes it came at a cost. Yep, the cost of Saturday morning cartoons when we had to clean those fingerprints off the walls. I hated that task more than anything else. Oh, and don't let us have out-of-town company coming in, because we'd have to clean for days. And she would go full-blown inspector mode on us. White glove treatment and all. Too funny. Funny thing is, when I got my own place, I was just like her. I think if you ask my family to this day, they might say I'm obsessed. But then again, this story isn't about me. As the oldest of four, I carried a little bit more weight on my shoulders. I had to grow up faster, understand more, and be a little stronger. And at the time, I didn't always appreciate it. But life has a way of teaching us, as we never know what the future holds. When I was 18, my mother lost her battle with lung cancer. And in that moment, everything she had poured into me, every lesson, every expectation, every tough love, Saturday mornings, became a gift. Her love, her strength, her resilience, and her spirit still lives in me today. So on this Mother's Day, I honor her, not just for who she was, but for how she shaped who I became. I can't end this without honoring another remarkable woman, my husband's mother. She never treated me like a daughter-in-law. From the very beginning, she welcomed me as a daughter. She would often tell people she picked her son's wives, and in a way, I guess she did. Her love, her guidance, and her presence came into my life at a time when I needed a mother's touch the most. And for that, I will always be truly grateful. Happy Mother's Day.
So I'm Audrey. My mom is Lashana. So as long as I can remember, my mom has been a very fierce protector over me. Even now at 28, she still doesn't play about me. And I love her. But the story that sticks out to me the most was probably when I was in the 5th grade and I was being picked on by a white racist teacher who was basically telling all of my friends that were white or mixed not to hang out with me because I'm black, telling them to stay away from me during school hours, and accused me of stealing in front of them multiple times. And I didn't tell my mom for a few weeks until one day she asked me, like, what's wrong with you? You've been having headaches lately. You just seem like you're not being yourself. And then I told her what was happening at school. The next day, she sped to the school in her uniform, cussed out the principal of the school, went to the teacher, cussed her out. Then she pulled her in the hallway, cussed her out some more. Basically, and me summing it up in a nice way, she told her, don't let this happen again or something's going to happen to you, basically. So, you know, ever since that day at school, everybody knew, like, my mom does not play about me. The teachers were bubbly and nice. I didn't have any more problems out of that teacher. So my mom always has my back. Whenever I need her, she's always there for me. She's normally the first person I call when I'm going through something and I need to vent, or when I just need someone to talk me through something. She's always there for me, a listening ear. So I love her very much, and I know that I can always count on my mom for any and everything. So I do appreciate you. I love you so much, and happy Mother's Day.
To all the mothers, stepmothers, grandmothers, aunties, godmothers, and every beautiful soul who has ever poured love, wisdom, and care into someone else's life, this is for you. Whether you gave birth, stepped in, stood strong, or simply loved like a mother, your impact is immeasurable. You are seen, you are appreciated, and you are deeply loved. Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you, and may your day be filled with the same kind of love you so selfishly give all year round. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other, and have a happy Mother's Day.